Yesterday I was sitting in a traffic jam, and I don't know whether there were more fumes coming out my exhaust pipes or out my ears. Call me a Boston driver, but when I get behind the wheel, I like to get where I'm going. I'm focused on my destination, timing my progress through traffic lights and measuring the minutes from point A to point B. But there I was sitting stuck. As I idled there waiting for the car ahead of me to finally move, I started thinking, sometimes my life feels like a traffic jam too. There are so many things to get done before I can go where I want. It's almost like being stuck in traffic. On top of that, inevitably lanes are closed ahead for disappointments, accidents, and maintenance, and the traffic jam intensifies. Sometimes the figurative road ahead seems as choked as the literal one. And about the only thing worse would be to sit here so long I run out of gas, or somehow get a flat tire, and then I'd really be stuck at a halt. Then I'd be not just a victim, but also a cause of the traffic jam, delaying not only my own busy schedule, but also everyone else's. So I can understand the frustration of a guy like Balaam in this week's Torah portion, who was in a big hurry to get where he was going when all of a sudden his donkey wouldn't budge. What annoyance! There he was riding along, late for his appointment, when his donkey halted dead in its tracks in the middle of a narrow path between two fences and refused to move an inch further. The donkey had never had a problem before, but here just suddenly stopped at the worst possible time. What road rage! Balaam beat the poor animal harder and harder, but the donkey laid down under him. What frustration! What bad timing, just when the busy Balaam was on an important mission for the king of Moab. The harder he beat his faithful donkey, the lower the donkey lay, until finally Balaam was completely startled by a voice, and he was sure the donkey actually spoke. It demanded of him, "What have I done to you, that you beat me like this?" Startled and enraged, Balaam screamed at the donkey from the depths of his soul, "You've made a mockery of me." But the donkey asked him, "I'm the donkey you've always ridden. Have I ever done this to you before?" And the donkey had not, so Balaam had to admit no. Well, up till now, Balaam was totally consumed with the single-minded frustration of every driver running late, beating the donkey to go forward on the narrow path between the fences. But the donkey had said something true. So maybe there was something else here, and in the shock of that realization, it was as if Balaam's eyes were open to see there really was something, or someone in the way. An angel of God was blocking the narrow path, with sword drawn and pointed at Balaam, and Balaam in his all-consuming frustration must not have noticed the angel until the donkey startled him into looking. It was a good thing the donkey stopped. And in this case, God had sent the angel to stop Balaam. You see, Balaam was a sorcerer and had been sent by Balak, king of Moab, to curse the Israelite people, because the king was afraid the numerous Israelites would attack his country. But no one can curse what God has blessed, and in this case, God had blessed the Israelites, so Balaam had no power to curse them. There he was, rushing forward to make a curse, angry and running late on a fool's errand. The angel allowed Balaam to complete his journey, provided he agreed to say God's words only. Finally, when Balaam caught up with the Israelites, the curse came out of his mouth all wrong, and he found he'd said a blessing instead. The same blessing we now say on entering a synagogue. "How goodly are your tents, O Jacob, your dwelling places, O Israel." A strange and fascinating story from Torah, full of embellished characters and improbable anthropomorphisms. Did a soothsayer named Balaam really live in ancient Moab? Did he really write those words? Did a donkey really talk and an angel really appear? Perhaps not. You can decide for yourself. But are there times when we veer off our single-minded path, only to realize it's a blessing we didn't continue rushing headlong and enraged into a mistake? Are we sometimes so blinded by the next traffic light on that busy road of life that we think only about getting through it? Do we ever get so focused on getting a list of things done that we forget to ask whether we've made the right list? Does the frustration of trivial setbacks blind us to our larger responsibility, to our integrity, to our loved ones, to our community, to God? The text is an invitation to decide those questions for yourself too. Now, there's nothing like the thrill of hitting the gas on an open road. The wind in your hair, not a care in the air, just the thrill of knowing where you're going and getting there. That's a joy to be thankful for. But life isn't all green lights. There are traffic jams, red lights, construction zones, flat tires, cars or donkeys that suddenly refuse to budge. Sometimes these are just setbacks, maybe most of the time, and we have to keep calm and get through them. But instead of narrowing our mind in frustration, instead of taking out our frustration on those who are most faithful to us, when we hit those red lights or speed bumps, we might want to open our eyes wider and ask if any of our obstacles might be trying to tell us something about our most important responsibilities. If so, we should be thankful for that too. May we be lucky enough, like Balaam, to be sent an angel to block our path the next time we're about to make a serious mistake. And if we are so lucky, may we be wise enough to see the angel and change direction. Back behind the wheel, my attention shifts from my meditation back to driving the car. I'm still not going anywhere fast, but I don't need to be like Balaam and beat the donkey. No longer limited by the narrow-mindedness of just getting through the next green light, I can decide where I want the car to go, and whether we get there safely and pleasantly. And I choose to open my eyes wide and search for any angels in my path who might have a message I need to hear. I control my destination and my destiny, and so I try to find it in myself to thank God that I have a little extra time to prepare words of blessing to say when I get there.